Hello friends, I am out in the garden today. We're gonna do a quick garden update because life has been crazy and the garden's been going nuts, but there have been a few things we have to figure out, a few things we've pulled up. So I'm just gonna do a little update. It is July 28th, 2026. We are in zone 8B in Northern California. Actually gonna do a little bit of maintenance as well while we're out here. And I do have to wear garden gloves because I am so sensitive to these damn zucchini stems. They are so prickly, and you might be able to actually see that this zucchini is actually a variegated, variegated, something like that. The leaves actually have this kind of design on them. We thought it was like powdery mildew or something, and it's not. But we're just gonna get in here and I'm gonna clean up some of these bottom leaves. 3 very large squash / zucchini plants. I'm actually gonna pull. This yellow squash has been producing quite well, honestly, more than the zucchini. Trim some of these. I have been doing this pretty regularly. Obviously, I think you wanna like keep some for the photosynthesis, but a lot of these on the kind of just get really dirty and gross, especially here where I have a lot of dirt. These ones are broken off. I apologize if you can hear that. I don't know what's been going on, but someone pulled in a giant motorhome nearby and has been running a generator all day and night, unfortunately. So yeah, this zucchini definitely has some. I've got like 5 going right here in here right now. The zucchini and squash, as to be expected, have been producing, I would say, not a ton. Not like an excess like a lot of people say, but you know, here in a week or two I might take that back. A lot of my zucchini have actually not been pollinating, so I have been trying to hand pollinate where I can, but I have noticed quite a bit of it. And actually, I'm going to show you right here too. One of this yellow squash actually started to put out like a secondary plant or two. So instead of just continuing to grow outward, it's actually like starting to grow new plant right on the stem. The stalk, I should say. That's been kind of crazy. So these have been our pole beans. I don't know what the deal is with these pole beans, but they have done nothing. They have gotten so huge. They have trellised up like 6 different poles, and they're just not producing anything. I'm getting some flowers and like buds that look like they should be, but they're just not. But they're huge. So I don't know what that's about, if I just need to wait, but I mean, they're putting off tons of tendrils. Cucumbers over here have been doing great. You can see, you actually have one right here I can pick. We're also gonna do some cleaning up down here of these. These cucumbers were just like the Dollar Tree. I wanna say they're the Market More or something like that. I have also planted some new seeds here just to see if I can get a succession going. We'll see, but I'm just gonna take off a lot of these bottom leaves that are just kind of shading, and like you can see, this guy needs to trellis. Let's see if we can get him up off the ground. So let's talk about these tomatoes because they went a little out of control. And to be so honest, I didn't expect this, and we did not plan for them to get so high. We also expected them to already be ripening sooner. I've only gotten a few ripe ones so far. Another thing that I wanted to make sure for next year is I planted 2 different varieties. This was a moneymaker from Botanical Interest and then a cherry tomato. But the cherry tomato, which was a Dollar Tree seed, which they've been doing great. They're huge. But it's a big cherry tomato. So actually the sizes of my cherry tomatoes and my moneymakers are about the same. I would like to next year do a super small sweet cherry tomato and then like a bigger slicer beefsteak type of tomato, or aroma, or, you know, multiple, like do a few different varieties instead of just the two. But we have gotten some money makers there. You can see one hiding behind the trellis. Another thing we have dealt with, unfortunately, is, you can see over here, blossom end rot. Unfortunately, I have seen a few of these on here, so I'm just plucking off the ones that I do see with it. I did put some eggshells for calcium. I've heard it's like a calcium deficiency. They say it's also like an inconsistent watering, which honestly, we're pretty good about watering deeply pretty often. So I'm not sure, but we are getting some that are ripening, so it's very exciting. I also noticed this into a tomato stem. I have heard about vine borers for squash. Haven't had a single issue for that on mine, but I noticed this on my tomato. And there are tomatoes on this vine, so we'll see. We do have some tomatoes ripening, and like this is my cherry tomato, and you can see they're pretty big. That's a pretty big cherry tomato. I might pull this whole thing and let them ripen, but these are starting, which is good. So honestly, I would say it's been like, I think from our last garden tour, at least a month, if not 6 weeks, of having green tomatoes on here, and then just now starting to ripen. But you know, that's just part of it. We're learning. I have only grown a tomato like one time in my life before, so but as you can see, these are, you know, I'm 5'5". These are in a raised bed, but they are quite large. We also do have a little basil plant there, or one, oh, like this is like sticking out. But yeah, the structural integrity of this has been a challenge. We have had a lot of snapped branches on the tomatoes. Do you have a couple of pumpkins planted? So I just wanted to end off this video with a couple things that have happened, things I've learned, just kind of things that I didn't really get to out there because my filming situation was kind of annoying. But as far as herbs, all my herbs, I have decided next year I want to put all my herbs in a bigger planter. I need way more of all of them. I basically put all my herbs in like individual little pots, and for basil and stuff, it's been fine. Basically, like I only had a tiny little bit of oregano. My dill went to seed basically before I could even get any off of it. And so I want to just dump a ton of seeds and get way more herbs. I'm not growing enough herbs right now to be able to dry and make my own dried herbs, which is really what I wanted. That will be a lesson learned for next year. Also, I didn't film this because I did it right before we left to go out of town, but I did pull up all of our carrots, and I actually can show you. We did get some. Some of them were okay. Some of them were quite bitter. I planted a rainbow variety of these. I gave some to my sister. I snacked on some, but this is basically kind of what we got with the carrots. So this is kind of like basically how they have turned out. And it's not bad. Some of them are more bitter than others. I think I planted them too late, harvested them too late. I was just worried that with this heat wave we're in right now, that these were gonna get too bitter. So not a total failure, but something where I definitely want to plant them a lot sooner next year. And I also want to plant a fall crop, but I'm gonna do just the straight orange carrots, the Danvers, I wanna say 76 or something, and let those get a frost or two before I harvest them for fall and hope that they are sweeter. So this was kind of a learning curve, but like I'm eating this, it's not bad. It's just not sweet. Like, it doesn't taste any better than a grocery store carrot, which is kind of the point. It's like when I can get a bag of carrots at the store for $2 and they taste the same as this, is it worth the time and space in my garden? I would like to nail that down. Also, very patiently waiting for that potato plant to die back, and I'm really, really excited to see if that potato has sprouted and has worked. I'm assuming that because it put off the foliage, it is creating potatoes in there, but it was just a grocery store potato that I cut up and put right under the surface of that grow bag. I kind of had a lot of like personal things happen right at the time where I really should have been starting my fall seeds, and my garden was just not, it wasn't, prioritizing fall garden wasn't on my mind, but I am going to try to get some fall stuff going. It's just, we're still in a heat wave right now. I'm gonna get degrees up to 100. I don't think that direct sowing anything in the ground right now is a good idea. The babies are just gonna get fried. So I'm kind of in like a weird spot right now where I could probably be starting stuff inside or maybe even in the greenhouse. But even in the greenhouse, because we did get up a greenhouse, if it's 100 degrees, it's gonna be even hotter in there. I just don't feel like any starts are gonna really thrive. I do have a couple of potato starts, a couple of potato plants, some sunflowers, and I'm just hoping that after this next heat wave passes, I can maybe start a couple beans. I would really love to just get some good fall, like kale. I did plant a row of beets, but only one has germinated so far. So we'll see how fall garden goes. It's definitely one of those things where I feel like if you're a beginner gardener, like summer gardening is kind of like what's the easiest and like makes the most sense, less barrier to entry, where fall garden, I feel like you don't exactly know when to start things, and I don't exactly know when my first frost is going to be, but I think I am going to try and start some peas, carrots, more beans, kale, and then I'm really excited to get some more lettuce going because all my lettuce it's definitely way too hot for that right now. Tomatoes are coming in, very, very excited. They're starting to turn. Still haven't seen a single green bean. So we'll see. That's about it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in 1 month for the end of August garden tour. Please let me know, zone 8B, what do I need to get in the ground like right now? Like today that won't be fried? Or what should I start in some solo cups that hopefully I can transplant out in a month, end of August, and still, you know, get some fall stuff. I'll see you guys next time.